All right, this is a Canon SX 160 PowerShot camera. I've actually got two of them. One is in various pieces of deconstruction, and this is one that I got on eBay, which also has some various problems to it, but I'm hoping between the two I'll get one of them to work. I'm going to tear it apart. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that's what we do. We just tear it apart and see what the pieces are and put it back together and hope something works. So for this, we start with these two screws here, and then on the top, there's one here on the side, and then the ones on the bottom. We start there, and then we'll go to that silver one on the right, which is for the front bezel.
Once that front bezel's off there, which is easy actually, you just take it from the side where the HDMI port is and just kind of pop it out and then pry it off. It's really easy. Then you go to the silver screws. Good design. The black screws in the camera, which are the most obvious, are the ones that hold the front bezel in, and the silver screws inside, which you can't see from the outside, hold the front bezel in.
All right, the front bezel's held on by that one right there, and this one next to the memory battery compartment, and then there's two more inside the flash.
Once these screws are out, you can just kind of pry that front bezel off, just carefully around the corners, around the edges, and you'll see that there's some little funky forks in the top there around the flash, but it will come up. Just be careful. The original camera, once I got the bezel off, I could see exactly why we weren't getting power. It just was all corroded. The battery contacts were corroded. The power into the main board was corroded. Even the power up to the flash assembly was really just powdered, so this thing was never going to get power again. But the camera got off eBay for 18 bucks. Powered on, just didn't have any video. So you can kind of see why the power was failed on this one. Now we'll look at the other camera.
All right, next we got to get the screen off of here to be able to get to the bolts that hold this camera module on. So this one doesn't pass video to the screen, otherwise everything works. All the contacts look good, it turns on, but there's just no video image. The other camera, which is in a lot of different pieces, doesn't even turn on. So I'm hoping the camera module on the other one is good, and we will replace them. But in order to make it possible to even get to this camera module, we got to take this screen out, and then this is the camera module from the other one. So it's quite a bit of surgery, but we'll get there. First, we got to take out these two screws here on the controller board to get to the screen signal interface to the main board.
This little controller is actually held on by 3 screws, so not 2 but 3. You can see the 2 I already took out. There's a third one on the bottom there next to the HDMI USB ports. Once you get that off, you can kind of just fold it toward the camera that took the image, and there's a little ribbon cable there on the left. You flick up the little black retainer clip, and that just pulls out of the socket, and that whole assembly comes off. Once it's swung out of the way, you can get clear access to the display panel, which just comes out of there with a little bit of prying. It's glued in there. There's nothing else holding it in at this point. You can see on the right-hand side where the ribbon cable goes in the main board. There's a little retaining clip in there. You flip up, and then you just gently pull that out with a pair of, very gently, with a pair of needle nose pliers or something. And then that whole display will just lift out of there. Once you get the display out, which is just glued in there, just gently pry it out, you're going to see a bunch of screws on this metal plate. The locations that are indicated by the blue arrows are the screws that hold the lens assembly into the front. The orange arrows hold that metal bracket in place, which you have to take off in order to get to the ribbon cables that are secured to the optical assembly. And then there's screws that are in the area of the red circle that actually you don't have to take out. They're just holding that little memory battery module in place, but you don't have to take that off of there, and you can leave them in. There's a few different types of ribbon cables on this camera. Some of them are just compression fit, and some of them do have a retaining clip you got to get out of the way. This one on the front, which is for the drive motors, it's just a compression fitting, so you just gently pull it out of that connector, and then when you replace it, you just gently push them back in. Pretty easy, just a little bit of wiggling around and you'll get it out of there. This board is where the controller is for the flash. There's a big capacitor back there. You don't need to take this out. It can stay in there. It doesn't need to move.
Okay, now we got this cover off. You basically have to just kind of take it where that little red marker is and just gently pry it up and off, because it's still connected with a bunch of wires up here to the flash assembly and stuff, but you don't need to take that off. Plus, these other wires are actually soldered on, so this will be able to get to these connectors here to take the camera module off, and we'll see what happens.
So the way that these ribbon cables come off, the connector at the top, the widest ribbon cable, does have a little retaining clip that needs to be flipped up. The two underneath that, the two smaller ones, are again just compression fittings. So you've just got to pull them out of there gently. And then the toughest part of reassembly for this camera is getting especially that bottom one back into that compression fitting. It will get in there. It's not too difficult. If you're used to doing this kind of stuff, you'll get it in there. But just push it in there until it stops. Just take careful note of where they're seating before you take them out, so you know how far in they need to go when you replace the new module.
All right, we've got the new camera module in now. Well, the camera module from the old camera anyway, the other camera. Now it's just all back in reverse. So I popped this little bracket back underneath here. You see there's a little nub right here that gets it in place. Once you lift it off that little nub and pop it off, it comes off pretty easy. Ribbon cables are back on the motherboard, I think. See what happens when we start it up later, but everything back in reverse.
Once it gets back together, everything actually worked amazingly. So the new optical assembly from the unit that did not power up into the body of the camera that powered up but didn't have any image processing, that was the trick. So something was wrong with the optical assembly, and the one replacement made it work. It was not the display itself. The display was fine. So it powered on, shoots great images, and saved me from having to spend $350 to go out and buy a new camera. $18 and a little bit of time well served. Subscribe and like if you can. Appreciate you watching.